I was 18 months old when the foster care system placed me in an upscale home in New York City's Queens neighborhood. It had all the marks of wealth, prestige, and affluence. I was placed in a home where the arms of loving parents, private schools, and weekends at the shore should have awaited me. Instead, I came face to face with unspeakable acts of abuse, shaming, slapping, neglect, and more. I struggled to fit in with other children at school. I was different, and I had more than one secret to keep. One fateful day at the age of 14, I disclosed to my foster parent I was not like the other boys. I was transgender. My foster mother's response was to kick me out of the home to save the other children from what she calls the devil's creation. I became one more nameless throwaway, one more statistic to add to the growing 2.5 million homeless LGBT youth in America. For me, it wasn't easy undergoing gender transition as a freshman while secretly being homeless and living on New York City subways. I didn't have support. I didn't have anyone. When I then went on to high school, I understood that the only thing that would be tangible in my life would be my education. But see, for me at 14, it's not what it looked like for the average youth. It wasn't taking my clothes out. It wasn't making sure that my mom or dad would check my homework and say, "You're doing a great job." Instead, it was walking just about a mile up and down Christopher Street in hope to get clientele, to get a meal, and transportation money to even get to school. That's the reality that many LGBT youth are facing in this country. It's the very reality that many days I woke up saying to myself, what did you do to deserve this? I'm human like everyone else. I don't deserve pain. I don't deserve trauma. Why couldn't I have gotten the mom that would love me? But then I realized at a transformative moment in my life that it was not about who was willing to accept me. Was I willing to accept myself? And was I going to accept myself in the way that my peers told me not to? Because see, my journey began wrapping t-shirts on my head because I couldn't afford expensive wigs. And because that was my truth, I was ridiculed and physically attacked by the guys and girls in my school. And so after leaving, I said to myself, I'm so sorry. I said to myself that you can't give up because you're going to give up in ways that I can see could be very easy to. It's not easy to walk in your truth. It's not easy to be different because my different is the kind of different that people feel they have the right to tell you that you do not deserve to live. See, my struggle was gender transition, getting through high school, but the average transgender youth struggle is what does safety look like? What does my family look like? Because they rebut me, I rebuttal myself. See, now I know you're seeing me here and you're saying, well, something had to get better. At some point in your life, you chose not only not to give up, but to thrive, to be the best person you can be. And it started at Christopher Street Pier. I looked to the water, and it was the water that liberated me. It was the water that I could envision privilege, happiness, and success. I seen my struggles pass me by. And as they passed me by, I was reminded of the people that had no clue what people like myself were going through. And so today, I want you to know that when you see me, I am not what transgender look like. I'm just a courageous person who dares to be different. The very different that we all are here today. The very different that we are reminded of every single day when we walk out of our home and see other people's reality. After graduating high school and going on to Rochester, New York, I then started my own foundation, Gender Global. After starting Gender Global, I have a national ambassadorship with the Human Rights Campaign. After the national ambassadorship with the Human Rights Campaign, I then got one of the most amazing news I could have ever gotten in my life, that we had won the Emmy Award for the T-Word documentary. And when you see me crying and you see me shaking up right now, it's because I know how many of my sisters will never make it here. How many of them has lost their lives. And so right when this sounds like it gets better, we cannot forget about the road in front of us. I'm not asking for this to be a sad story. I'm asking you to see someone standing here in their pain, in their truth, and ask yourself, what can you do? And when you say, what can I do? It's joining the revolution of loving and accepting someone different. Because different is the new frontier. And if you can't do it for me, do it for the people who's dying. In August 2015, 3 transgender women of color were reported murdered in one day. Many reports come in every single month. One of our main battlegrounds is to exist in a world where everyone says you're trying to be someone you're not. And the only thing you're doing is living as yourself. I need it, they need it, we need the love, we need the liberation, we need the support, not only for the 2.5 million homeless LGBT youth, but for the 41% of transgender people that attempt suicide. For the ever-growing numbers of not just murder, but of the families rejecting what may be the most amazing thing in your family, which is the catalyst to different. It's not living in the norms, it's breaking them. And so I say, will you join it? Do you want to join it? Thank you.